Welcome to my Media Museum and part 8 of our pink and blue disco case series of 45 RPM vinyl records. We finished up the pink case in part 7, and if you didn't watch part 1, you might want to do that to get the whole story about what we're talking about with the disco cases and where I got them from. But I'm very happy to be adding these to my collection. And the blue one here starting off with some really great titles. Led Zeppelin, Whole Lot of Love. And can't believe this is a cutout. Man, oh man, the imagine that a 45 RPM vinyl record originally released by Led Zeppelin did not sell and was reported as destroyed to the distributor is mind-boggling to me. The B-side being Living, Loving Maid, She's Just a Woman, which doesn't get the respect that I personally feel it deserves. It's another one of those, as we were talking about in episode 7, another one of those album fillers that they needed one more track and they banged something out real quick. And apparently Jimmy Page doesn't really care for the song, but I love it. I always did. I always thought it was a great song. So, and this is a beautiful copy of it, other than the cutout hole being in it. That vinyl is clean, and really, really happy to have that. I do have another copy or two in my collection without cutout holes, but I'm not entirely sure if they're that clean. Now here's another Zeppelin up, which gotta love that. Oh, thank you, Debbie, for having 2 Zeppelins in your collection. And Immigrant Song, which, if you know the story behind the Immigrant Song 45, you know that it's got an exclusive B-side that was unavailable anywhere else for many, many years. And if you're not aware, then we'll flip it over and show you now. Hey, hey, what can I do? I got a woman. That's a great song. It's got some pretty risky references in it, but it didn't make it onto an album until the 4 CD box set of the remasters came out. And then they added it to Coda. The original version of Coda did not include it, but when they added, I think 4 or 5 tracks, I think 4, it might have been 5 tracks they added to Coda to beef it up for the box set. Hey, hey, what can I do was one of them that they pulled out and included. So, great song, and like I said, for a long time, this is the only way you could get it. This is a really good looking copy of it. It is nice and clean. Boy, I tell you, these disco cases, even though you don't have sleeves, if they were stored properly and taken care of, they did keep the albums looking like the day they were pressed. Next up, we've got another really great one, CCR, also known as Creedence Clearwater Revival, and a John Fogerty composition of Have You Ever Seen the Rain? And we've shown quite a few CCR 45 RPM vinyls on this channel, the numerous videos I've made and posted. And as I've said, they always have a really good song on the B-side. They're almost all double A's, and in this case it's Hey Tonight, It's Gonna Be Alright. I remember the commercials that used to just play endlessly on TV for CCR's Chronicle and Chronicle 2. They used to really push the sales of that on TV, and you always got just the little clips of the songs, and that was one of them I remember being on there. But next up we got Badfinger, and for once it's a different song than the one you know them the most well for. This time a song called Baby Blue, and as we discussed, the full apple is always the A side. Right there, 1972, we're right in that sweet spot of when old Debbie was building her 45 RPM vinyl records collection. And the B-side being Flying. So I'm thrilled to death to have another Badfinger 45 in my collection that isn't the one that you see in every box. Yeah, and it's beautiful. Beautiful shape. So that's a really happy addition to the collection. I've got quite a few copies of Hey Jude, but I'm not going to turn my nose up at getting another one by any means. Got a little scratch in the label here. There's a slight, damage to the label. But as with all of the discs in both of these disco cases, or pretty much all of them, beautiful shape. Just a beautiful copy of it. The B-side to Hey Jude was You Say You Want a Revolution. Oh, well. Yep, great song. In fact, I liked Revolution much better than Hey Jude. To me, Hey Jude got a little long-winded and ran on forever and ever. I'm not seeing a timing on that copy, but that was a long, pushing the limits of the 45 format song, for sure. Na 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 na. All right, and now we've got John Ono Lennon with the designation that you should play loud on this side. Instant Karma. And we all shine on. And the B-side was Yoko Ono Lennon. And it says, play soft. I just think that's an interesting little addition. I don't remember seeing a previous Apple label that says play loud on one side and play soft on the other. But Who Has Seen the Wind by Yoko Ono. And I'm not one of those that blames Yoko Ono for breaking up the Beatles. The Beatles were doomed to fail anyways. They were growing apart, and if Yoko had never been a part of this story, the Beatles still would not have stayed together. It was just too much going on, and it was meant to happen. So I don't blame her for that. But she's not a favorite artist of mine, and I definitely enjoy the John Lennon material much more than the Yoko Ono material on the releases that they did together. And I'm not trying to be negative at all. I'm just stating my opinion, my feelings, and that's that. So here we got a Beach Boys, and it's really odd that the only Beach Boy in these two spindles is one that I'm not really familiar with. The Little Girl I Once Knew. It's a Brian Wilson composition, and boy, has it got a enormous cutout hole drilled into it. But the B-side, There's No Other Like My Baby, Phil Spector composition, and L. Bates, who I'm not entirely sure who L. Bates is. But yeah, it's odd that you get one Beach Boy 45 in a stack, and it's something you don't know, when they had so many hits, and you see so many of them pop up over and over again in boxes of collections that you buy. So there again, I'm really happy with the purchase of these two cases, and the individual's collection had a number of lesser known songs by good artists, and I'm really happy to have those now. Here we've got Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. And I'm definitely much more familiar with the Peter Frampton version of that song than the Stevie Wonder one, but it is a Stevie Wonder composition. There's a few other guys credited there, but yeah, Stevie Wonder wrote it, deserves credit for creating the song, and it's his. 1970. I think Frampton did it around 75, 76, maybe even 77. But like I said, I'm much more familiar with his version. Kind of like Superstition with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Definitely, it was a Stevie Wonder song as well, but I'm definitely much more familiar and more appreciative of the Stevie Ray Vaughan version of it. But I'm more than happy, I'm satisfied being on the B side of that. And it's from Once in a Lifetime. You'll see 1967 on that side. This side was 1970. So, excuse me. Here is another case where they're promoting songs off of different albums on different sides of the 45. Next up, we're going to have a couple of Guess Who's. And yes, I've got many, many copies of this one, but I absolutely love this song, Bus Rider. Surprisingly, this is one of the more rockin' numbers after Bachman left the group, but the Guess Who did carry on after he went and formed Bachman Turner Overdrive and had quite a successful career. Brave Belt, there were a couple of Brave Belt albums there between the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive, but they didn't do as well or are as well known. But I'm a big Bachman Turner Overdrive fan. Absolutely love the album Not Fragile. That would be my one album of choice. If I was going to suggest somebody listen to a Bachman Turner Overdrive album, it would certainly be Not Fragile. B-side here, this one is Share the Land. And yeah, they kept the band going for a little while, and they had a number of good songs, but I definitely like the early work better. That's just my preference. And here we've got a second one that Debbie autographed for us, and it's the Guess Who doing Hand Me Down World. And I think I had an earlier video where I discussed they had a question mark after the Guess Who question mark in the early days, but they dropped it after I think the second album. So typically you don't see the question mark. I do have, I think, 145 that has the question mark after the name. And anyways, I've already shown that one on the channel previously. If you go back through and watch all of the 45 RPM vinyl records videos that I've made and posted, you'll come across it. It's there somewhere. Now, B-side being a song called Running Down the Street. Alright. So, one more and we'll call it good. And it is The Who. Yeah, we had a Who in the last, the pink case. So here's our Who for the blue case. And it's joined together with the band, Peter Townsend composition. Great song on that beautiful Decca label artwork. And the B-side being a song called Baby Don't You Do It, which isn't a Who song that I'm nearly as familiar with as joined together with the band. 1972 track records recorded in England. Imagine that. She's a beauty. They run 617, so they really pushed the limits of the 45 RPM format there on that one. The other side was more in line with what you'd expect, 422. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful day, and be sure to come back for part 8.